I had a good fish from here the other day. Lovely bass. I don't know, but it's huge. I'm not going to measure it because I've got to get it into the water. But this is a beautiful fish. Nelly, get out of the way. I mean, it's massive. On you. Go on. I have come back to fish the same venue. And we're hoping to get another bass. We've got big squid baits, a few worms as well, but we'll be concentrating on the bass here with these big 3/0 hooks. No need to cast far, but look at the conditions. Waves are crashing over a couple of little reefs here. Looks good, doesn't it? Quite good conditions. The tides are a bit smaller. We're plonking out pulley pennant with squid at short distance for the bass. I've also got a lure rod today. Might give that a go in a minute. Try and follow that line of the reef there. Can you see the reef? So I'm in the middle of two reefs. We did quite well here the other day. I had this bass, so I thought I've got to come back and try and replicate it. This one was caught dead on low tide, just as the tide was starting to turn. But we had nothing after that, save for a small conger and a small bass. So I'm just wondering whether the fish were on the feed on the ebb, which is when the tide comes out. But it's also almost lure fishing time. So we'll have a little look at that as well today. There we go. A little bit more optimistic. Knew we'd find some. Do then. What are you going to do? Swim. Be a dog. Be a dog. Come on. Yes. Good girl. Really simple with the lures today. Little creature bait here. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it underneath. The idea is with a Ned hook, which is a weighted hook, it sort of sits up like that, but it's so turbulent out there. I'm just going to free line this using one of those. Early season theory is the bass are a little bit more head down, aren't they, and chasing what's in the rock pools. That's the theory, so we'll give it a go. So we're coming back to this same mark. I don't know if you've ever had this, you know, when you've caught a good fish somewhere, and particularly somewhere that's new, and then you've come back, and I've become slightly obsessed with this mark. This isn't the first time I'm going to come back here, because we managed to get a good bass here. It just makes me think maybe this is where they're running at the moment. Got to take advantage of where the fish are. Somebody very wise once said, the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, I'm sure there's some sanity here, because I want the same results. I've done it once and I keep coming back for more on this mark. And here we are, lure fishing, first of the year. We've got a lot of lure fishing videos coming up to the channel, and we will swap over to this method of fishing, particularly with these creature type baits. There's different ways to rig them and fish them, and here we just sort of bouncing it towards this reef. Really, we've got the waves coming in towards us, just lifting it up and then making sure it comes back towards us. Don't worry about the water clarity, at least that's what I'm telling myself. For this sort of fishing, I don't think you need the water to be very clear. It's not the way the bass are feeding. They're not really using sight, but rather movement. There's a little rattle on this lure. But we will come into lure fishing in a lot more detail. But for now, I'm happy with the conditions. Bass haven't put in an appearance, and actually that using this new drift rod, DRX1 35 gram rod, a little bit heavier to what I normally use the lures with.
Every year, seems to get earlier every year, we have gully water or may rot here in Sussex, which is basically, I think, is the detritus that comes off the land, chemicals and things like that, and there's like a big bloom of shit and it's almost, when it's at its worst, it's a big line. It's a big line across the coast, and it sort of kills any idea of lure fishing. We're still a little bit early, but there are signs of it. My friends out on the boats are telling me it's starting to come. But just about see a little line out there. I don't know if you can pick that out. I really like, so for bass, I really like some waves here in between those reefs. It's a really good sign. Clean ground, rough ground, rough ground. Simple pulley rig today, using a proper pulley, just something I've made up with a fluorocarbon 4.5 ounce lead, and we're just going to put that in the little space there between the tide. There's a little gap between the reefs, we're going to plonk that in there. We'll clip it on anyway, just protects it, but we're not going for any great distance. Should really be holding a rod for bass.
So just trying to read the water a bit here. You can see that the waves are breaking in between these two reefs. That's sand where it flattens out, but in addition you've got a sandbank a little bit further out as well, where you're into about a foot of water. So actually the water's getting shallower a little bit further out. It's just something to consider, like a bigger cast will put you almost in a foot of water here. It just mixes stuff up really well, doesn't it? For some reason that to me looks very bassy.
So just going to do a little soft cast. So I'm a bit close to a reef there. I have to see how that goes. It might drag it into the rocks. Oh, the hazards of fishing for bass. So on this second rig then, we've got the 170 lead, or red ones I call them. You can see here it's already got a lead splashdown sort of clip on here, but it also has the bait clip on the lead, so you don't need both, but we've got them both, and a pulley pennel on here. I'm just going to pack the squid on and blast this one out a little bit further really. Just want to clear both the reefs, and with this ebbing tide I love how that water's coming out between these two reefs. So doesn't quite give us twice a chance, but it's good to have another bait in the water. and you do need to watch the rods, and you do need to watch the rods for bass, and that's me telling myself.
So I've come back again. It becomes an obsession, doesn't it? I've got maybe I shouldn't do it, but you catch one bass and I keep trying to do the same thing again. I wonder whether sometimes it's best just to accept the catch in isolation. Yeah, got a bass, and move on and carry on fishing different places, different ways, as I would do normally. But this has really sort of thrown me catching this fish, because I keep coming back for more, and I'm not catching another one. Oh, bass fishing, it's quite frustrating. It's not the first time this has happened. Actually, my best bass of over 11 pounds, I've been back to the same venue. I'm just looking on my list here. I went back to the same place I caught an 11 pound bass 12 times, and I've caught no other fish from there at all. I've caught near it, I've caught, along the same stretch of coastline, but never from that exact mark have I ever caught another bass. So I don't know about going back. Is it a good idea? Let me know in the comments.
It turns out only 20% of you actually subscribed to the channel. So with every video, 80% are unsubscribed. I would love you to subscribe. Press the subscribe button down there, and if you press the bell, you'll be notified of any updates from me from sea fishing here on the south coast. It's a good way to keep in touch with what's being caught. And I'd love you to be part of this saltwater angler community. Genuinely, it really helps if you subscribe, so please subscribe. Well, at first we've succeeded. I've come back after 2 blanks, and it's a little bit rough, but this is really starting to flatten out in front of us. We're just on the top of the tide. It's just starting to ebb now. It really has been churned up, the water. Usually good for the bass and a dogfish or two. Yeah, we'll give it a go here. A little bit further down the coast now, back in St Leonard's. See the waves rolling in. Hey Nelly. Alright. Obviously those spray on the camera. Obviously those rods are going to be bouncing around all over the place. Very hard to spot a bite on here. But I love these conditions. Really good. To be honest, I've sort of tucked myself away a little bit. I'll make you a promise. Next time I catch a decent bass, I'll get it on video from the start. Better days ahead. Do you go back and try and replicate what you caught before? That's up to you, but I'll keep trying to catch these bass, Lure fishing coming soon.